how's training this morning?
Excellent. It was good to get some nice weather. We've had plenty of rain in the last few sessions, so just started a pretty strong block of training. NAB Cup's not far away, so we're really hard at it. Match simulations in full swing, and probably the best time of pre-season when we start, getting into the games situations.
Are you seeing any, like now that the NAB Cup's sort of, just around the corner, are you seeing either from, session to session or week to week, that sort of development? Are you seeing that yet?
Yeah, I absolutely I am. I can see the way, improvements in the way we're trying to move the ball, improvements in the way we're trying to defend as a group. It's been a weakness of ours over the past couple of years. So there's aspects of the entire game plan that we're trying to improve, but you can't do it all at once. The important thing is that, like you said, we are seeing it as the weeks go by.
Is this personally your body improving personally over another pre-season?
Yeah, I think so. I think I feel now that I've got a pretty good base under me. I've done, I think this is my 6th pre-season, so after 3 or 4 you start to feel like you've got a pretty good base, and you've got to, you start from a little bit higher up. So it's been good. I've been well managed this pre-season, haven't just been pounding the pavement as such and just continually running. I've been able to work on my specific skill sets, contested marking and forward patterns and things of that nature. So I've really enjoyed the pre-season thus far.
We heard with the rotations of the cap coming down, that Tex before was trying to shed some weight and be more aerobic around the field. Is that a similar thing for you?
It hasn't been something I've aimed to do, but it's just something that happens this time of year. I was actually getting stuck into Tex for making such a big deal of it because the amount of kilometres we're running at the moment, it's just a natural occurrence. So I am lighter than last year, but I would imagine as the season starts and the training loads decrease, you'll probably see, most guys will probably put 1 to 2 kilos back on.
So it's not a conscious decision?
No, not for me anyway. I know some guys think that if they do so, then they'll improve the running or whatever, but the style of game I play, and a lot of contested marking and situations, I want to be big and strong.
Josh, what's been the biggest difference under Don?
Tough question to answer this early. We're probably only 15 to 20 main football sessions in, and no games. But he's tried to add his own slant to things. It's obviously an interesting dynamic the way he's came in. We're not sort of at a rebuild or trying to start from scratch. We're actually a side that has got some promise and put some performances on the board last year. So he's coming in from a successful environment, just trying to implement some things, some aspects that he thinks we can improve upon.
Do you feel as though you're starting to get to know him more, doing these internal trial matches and stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. Early days it was tough for him. He had 45 players to get to know, as well as probably twice as many staff members. So, I know personally I just let him go about his business because he had a lot of people to get around and look after and get to know. But now that games are starting to happen, he's able to really individualise with guys, and you start to work out how he thinks and what he wants from you from day to day.
And how do you think he's going so far?
Yeah, good. He's fairly reserved. I haven't seen him blow up just yet. There's no pressures off this time of year. We're just trying to get better and get fitter. But he's fairly quiet character, doesn't rant and rave, and really enjoyed my time with him thus far.
Does Kemper become sort of the link man between last season and this to keep it continuous?
Well, I think probably not as such, but David Teague, Matthew Clark, James Posiadley transitioning from player to coach, they're all here as well. So they know what went well for us, and then Don probably brings in some new aspects of, coming from the outside, seeing, scouting us and seeing us as a whole, probably some things that he thinks he can improve or we can improve.
What about the J-Pod's performance? Saying in the cafe the other day that he's loving it.
Yeah.
Have you seen much of a change in?
Yeah, well, he obviously works with the defenders, so he works closer with them than I, but I know the playing group really enjoy having someone who's literally straight out of the game. He understands how hard the game is and how hard it is to continually back up, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, pre-season sessions. They can get on top of you, and at times you don't see any light at the end of the tunnel. He's been really good keeping things fresh and changing it up for the defenders. I know that they can't speak highly enough of what he's done with them and for them so far in the summer.
Have you had any sort of indication of what your role might be this year? Is it very similar to last year? More forward, more ruck?
I would imagine it would be fairly similar. It's a fairly straightforward role. I know there's probably 2 skill sets involved, but for the most part, it's probably the tall forward that competes long down the line when games are contested, And then the other aspect, which is important, is giving Source or the primary rucker spell as well. So not sure, it'll be a filling out process of how much workload Sam can take, and as to how much I need to relieve him, and vice versa. So we're likely going to get less rest or less opportunities to go off the field. So the NAB Cup's going to be an important period for us to work out how that looks, and what the regular season's going to hold for us.
On that forward line, with yourself, Tex, Eddie, when you're fully up and running, do you think it's one of the most potent forward lines in the AFL?
Oh, absolutely. I'd be fool not to be a part of a group that you don't think is can be one of the elite. And I think we've added some dimensions. We've added personnel. Troy Menzel this off-season as well. So David Teague, second year in charge of the forward group, will continue to improve and understand what he wants from us. Don will want some different things from us. So I think in terms of personnel and performance, I think last year we put forth a really good effort, consistently. We scored over 100 points most weeks. So we'll be aiming to do the same thing, but there's obviously going to be areas that we need to improve upon.
Given their like Menzel and Malia and these sort of new guys, given their training, are you sort of feeling that challenge is going to be a pretty...
Yeah, I think so. I think there's probably, there could be 15 to 20 guys who will use the NAB Cup as a springboard. They probably use the training now and then the NAB Cup as a springboard to put themselves in contention or lock away a spot even for round one. And two guys you mentioned have really been impressive. Troy's clearly got the skill set to play AFL, and Wayne's come in as a 18-year-old, and I can't speak highly enough of how he's trained and how he just eats up the work, and he's not afraid to back himself, and that's why we picked him, so that's what we want him to do.
And Josh, have you got a Super Bowl tip?
I was glad you asked me. I wanted to make a public outcry to the coach to give us Monday off if he's watching the news tonight. I haven't seen a Super Bowl in 5 years. So in terms of a tip, I think the Panthers. I just hope that they win. I've got the Cam Newton jersey in the mail, so I'm praying that it gets here in time. So yeah, hopefully we can at least see the second half like we did last year, and if the game's similar to last year, I'll be very happy.
Well, good guys.
Make sure you play the last one. Thanks, boys.
Cheers, mate.